On today's episode, we're going to be doing a deep dive into childhood, Michael Jackson's A Song from the History Book 1 album. We're also going to be talking a little bit about the short film. We're going to explore Michael Jackson's actual childhood, some of the difficult relationships and challenges that he faced being a child star, the pressures that he felt, and we're going to be talking a little bit about why this might be his most autobiographical song. And actually, I'm going to play a clip with him telling us just that.
But if you really want to know about me, there's a song I wrote, which is the most honest song I've ever written. It's the most autobiographical song I've ever written. It's called Childhood.
Have you seen my childhood?
By the end of this episode, I think that you will all agree with me that this song is the song that represents Michael Jackson's heart and soul the most out of all of the songs in his career. Now, before we get into it, are you a Michael Jackson fan that would love to chat with other Michael Jackson fans, get to know other fans, and just geek out about his music and all that stuff, basically fangirl out, fanboy out, but you don't know where to turn? I actually started a Patreon at patreon.com/MJFANGIRL, and it is the perfect place for you to not only meet other fans, but to also get some exclusive content from me. Yes, I am posting 3 videos. That's right, 3 videos are exclusive every single month just for Patreon users, and it's the perfect way to support the channel, the podcast, all the MJ Fangirl stuff. It is only $4.99 a month, and I'm sure that you guys will love it, okay? You can come over there and chat with us. Visit the Patreon today at patreon.com/MJFangirl to get involved. Now back to Childhood. So Childhood is from Michael Jackson's 9th studio album, if we include all of the previous Motown releases. So Childhood was released as a single May 31st, 1995. It was released in tandem with the song Scream, which is a duet with his sister Janet Jackson. Now, Childhood is a part of one of the many amazing songs written and produced by Michael himself, along with famed music producer David Foster. So from the opening lyrics, "Have you seen my childhood?" Michael takes us on a journey exploring the struggles and pain that he has experienced in and out of the public eye, okay? Michael Jackson went through so much, and a lot of it stemmed from his very unique childhood, right? He started, if you didn't know, or maybe you knew, and I'm just going to remind you that Michael Jackson actually started out as a child star as a part of a group with his brothers called the Jackson 5. They were signed by Motown and had their first hit started in 1969, you guys. So Childhood being in 1995, decades later, and he was not only a huge star when he was a kid, but then he blew up into one of the most iconic stars of our time. He was a legend 10 years before he even created the Childhood song, before he even released it, I should say. This song was from a unique period of time in the mid-90s. This is a time in Michael's life when he splashed all over the tabloids. He's got a whirlwind marriage with Lisa Marie Presley. He's got a lot of stuff going on. And he also had a lot of people like suing him with like ownership of songs, and Michael didn't really write this and he's copying me and da 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 da. It was just a time when he went through a lot of turmoil in his personal life, and a lot of it was splashed onto the outside of the media, the pages and everything of these newspapers and the tabloids that we all hated so much. And now they're online and basically parading as like entertainment news sites, but they're basically just tabloids. But I wanted to take you guys back to 1993 when Michael talks about his childhood with Oprah Winfrey. One of the most, I think at the time it was like the most watched television interview of all time. They walked around Neverland and they discussed his childhood and what he experienced as a child. And I'm going to insert the clip here for you guys to check it out.
Well, is this a part of you, what we were talking about earlier, the pain of growing up and not being able to experience all the things that kids normally experience, and so now you are fulfilling all of those fantasies?
You compensate, yes.
Really?
Yes, it's very true.
Do you think you can ever really recapture it, though? Does it feel the same? I mean, I don't know.
It's more fun. I wouldn't
really?
change the past if I had to.
And it's interesting because he talks in this interview with Oprah about his childhood and working and trying to do what's right and trying to give back to others that felt out that they missed out on childhood. And, you know, he missed out because he was working, whereas others are missing out because they're sick or they're in underserved communities. And if you think about the line from the song, "Before you judge me, try hard to love me, look within your heart and ask, have you seen my childhood? He's talking about all of the things that he's been through that have taken him up to this point. And a lot of people don't realize that, like, Michael Jackson's childhood laid the foundation, like a lot of our childhoods, they lay the foundation for who we are. And they kind of like set us up to decide how we're going to live our lives and what we are going to change for future generations. I want to shift gears now that we've given a little bit of background, just to talk about the fact that the short film for childhood is something that we really never talk about in the Michael Jackson fan community. I have some notes here, so I'm going to make sure that I get all this right, and I'm going to read to you guys all of the research that has been compiled about the childhood film, which we never really talk about, like I said. The film was shot mostly over the course of 4 nights in the Los Padres National Forest in California. It was filmed in the middle of the forest with Michael dreamily singing to the air about his childhood. Now, throughout the film, children are seen on pirate boats in the sky, seemingly sailing off to Neverland, the place where children never have to grow up. According to the director, Nick Brand, he says, we shot the video in a forest in the middle of a national park, 1 hour's drive north of Los Angeles. The whole shoot took a week. We spent 4 nights outside in the forest, then 2 days in the studio, filming the flying boats against a blue screen background, but Michael wasn't there for those shots. It was a metaphor for childhood dreams. Michael very much believed in the idea of always pursuing your dreams. And here's a little couple clips that I found online of the actual childhood video shoot. And it's funny because the woman at the park is like, people found out about it. I don't know how they found out about it. Like, okay, come on. Michael Jackson fans, they were sleuths back then. We are sleuths now. Like, we are on top of the information, okay?
Childhood wasn't Michael Jackson's most famous song, but the biographical work was easily the most telling about his early life. Mount Pinos was the backdrop selected for the song's music video.
He really seemed to enjoy our forest, spending time up here. But it did. It brought back a lot of, personal memories of the people I'd met and worked with.
Lori Murphy was the only still photographer allowed full access to the set. She remembered much about the experience.
I mean, he only came out at night to shoot, and that was it. And the rest of the time he stayed in his trailer. But his crew was amazing. The production was amazing.
The shoot took place from May 30th to June 2nd, 1995, in a wooded area south of what's now the El Camino Pines Bible Camp.
It was a very secretive operation. The camp was notified and asked if they could use the facility, and they were told that they could not tell anyone about it.
Workers had to sign confidentiality agreements, but still, word leaked that the King of Pop was in town.
A couple of people, I guess, that went there to view it were allowed to view it, and I don't know how they found out.
I didn't know this, but I found it out while I was researching. This was going to be a part of that one night only special. So Michael was to do this one night only show in New York City. I believe it was going to be at the Beacon Theater, correct me if I'm wrong, in 95, and they were rehearsing this song for the one night only special. And I'm literally looking at this now, and I don't know how accurate this is, but it seems to be that he was performing this live on a stage with like a mime. And like, I just imagine if that show had been done. There's also a little bit of a nod to the fact that, like, when this song was released, it was released along with Scream, which is kind of like, okay, Scream is directly saying, stop pressuring me, the media makes me want to scream, and da-da-da-da-da. Whereas Childhood is more like, oh, look at me, before you judge me, try hard to love me, look within your heart and ask, have you seen my childhood? Like, he wanted to break everything down and let you know, like, hey, I'm a person with a background and a history and feelings too. And one of the things that I absolutely love about the song Childhood is the orchestration and, like, just the way that the violins sound. And you can hear, I mean, the New York Philharmonic played on this song. The estate was supposed to be releasing like an anniversary, I think it was History 25, around the time when the pandemic happened, weren't they? And so they never got a chance to do that because of, the shutdown and all that stuff. But I just think that, yeah, we need to play these songs justice. I also wanted to let you guys know that there is a channel, and I'm going to be leaving the information here, but they are doing a special on the History album, like, all year. all year. They recently did They Don't Care About Us. This month in March, they're going to be doing an episode on Stranger in Moscow and This Time Around, which is super exciting. The channel name is Malibu German MJ Fan Community. Shout out to Jenny. She is one of the people on this team of this awesome fan club. They also have a really cool video that it looks like they're talking about the Jackson's family books, like all books that have been written by the Jackson family. So go ahead and check that out. And yeah, until next time, I will see you guys later. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about childhood. What do you guys think in relation to this being like his most autobiographical song? Did you enjoy some of the clips that were shared here? Talk to me. Let me know. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.